When the kidneys begin to fail, many people assume the problem comes only from salt or diabetes. But the truth is that every day, without you noticing, certain common foods start irritating, inflaming, and slowly wearing them down. What's most concerning is that this damage progresses silently, without causing pain, until one day a serious problem shows up. Today I want to help you prevent that. I'm Dr. Gabriel Mina, and I'm going to reveal the 10 foods that damage your kidneys the most, starting from number 10, so you can identify them, reduce them, and protect your health starting today. Welcome to your channel Wellness at My Age. Here we talk about holistic health, longevity, and simple natural habits that help you maintain physical, mental, and emotional balance. Take notes and share this with your family and friends to help them improve their health. Let's begin. Number 10 on the list is high-sodium foods. And I'm not talking about the salt you use at home, but the excess hidden sodium in processed products like canned soups, ready-to-eat meals, frozen foods, snacks, and fast food. The real problem isn't salt itself, but that these foods deliver huge amounts of sodium and almost no potassium, the mineral that balances its effects. When the body receives sodium without potassium, the kidneys must work twice as hard, you retain fluid, blood pressure rises, and the tiny vessels that keep the kidneys functioning begin to deteriorate. That's why I always recommend increasing natural potassium-rich foods like leafy greens and fresh vegetables, or using balanced electrolytes when needed. Balance is always the key. In the number 9 spot are coffee creamers. Although they may seem harmless, most of them don't even contain real cream. They're mixes of chemicals, colorants, and emulsifiers like titanium dioxide, substances that can alter the kidney membrane and promote protein loss through the urine when consumed regularly. Then, at number 8 we have alcohol. We all know that excess alcohol is harmful, but very few understand how it affects the kidney. Alcohol dehydrates you, forcing the kidney to filter toxins with less water, and it also increases uric acid production, microscopic crystals that scratch the tissues and can form kidney stones. And if alcohol is mixed with sugar, sweeteners, or artificial drinks, the impact is even worse. Number 7 surprises many people: green smoothies. Although they sound healthy, ingredients like spinach, beets, and almonds contain very high levels of oxalates, and excess intake can contribute to kidney stone formation, especially in sensitive individuals. I remember Marta, a 62-year-old patient who came to me worried about sudden lower back pain. She was drinking 2 green smoothies every day, thinking they were the best for her health. Once we adjusted her ingredients and balanced her diet, her discomfort disappeared. Stories like Marta's are very common, which is why it's so important to understand what really affects our kidneys. And before we continue with the next foods on the list, I invite you to subscribe, give this video a like, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of the tips we share every day to help you live stronger, more active, and in better health. If you're trying to take care of your kidneys, it's important to understand that avoiding certain foods is not enough. You must also know how your body processes substances that can form crystals and stones. For example, when you drink green smoothies loaded with spinach or almonds every day, oxalates can build up. And even though those smoothies may feel healthy, the problem starts when your body can't handle these compounds well. I'm Dr. Gabriel Mina, and something I see constantly in my practice is that not everyone processes oxalates the same way. When the body cannot break them down or eliminate them, they enter the bloodstream and reach the kidneys, where they form painful crystals. Our body has several ways to handle oxalates. First, if your gut microbiota is strong and diverse, you likely have bacteria that can break them down before they're absorbed. If that happens, they don't reach the blood and don't cause harm. Second, minerals like calcium and magnesium can bind to oxalates in the intestine, preventing them from entering the body. And third, citrate, found in foods like lemon, stops oxalates from binding to calcium in the blood, reducing stone formation. When these defenses fail, that's when the problem begins. If you have low stomach acid, your minerals aren't absorbed well. If your diet is low in magnesium or calcium, there won't be enough to block oxalates. If your microbiome is weakened, there won't be protective bacteria. If you have intestinal permeability, more oxalates leak into the bloodstream. If you're dehydrated or constipated, the risk of crystal formation increases. I remember Mr. Ramiro, a 68-year-old patient I saw some time ago. He made a green smoothie every morning without realizing that the daily combination of spinach and almonds was contributing to his intense pain. We adjusted his ingredients, improved his hydration, and with simple changes he stopped forming crystals. Stories like his remind me how important it is to understand how these processes work. Moving on to number 6, artificial sweeteners. These do pose a direct risk to the kidneys. The three most common ones are aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium, found in thousands of light or sugar-free products. Aspartame breaks down into toxic byproducts, sucralose directly alters renal tubule function, and acesulfame increases stress on the filtration system. Although they seem harmless, their constant consumption loads the kidneys with substances that were never meant to be filtered daily. When you want to protect your kidneys, it's crucial to identify the substances that wear them down without you noticing. And one of the biggest problems is artificial sweeteners. Many believe they're a healthier option, but your kidneys struggle to handle them. Substances like aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium accumulate in kidney tissue, cause direct cellular damage, and increase oxidative stress. Over time, this deteriorates kidney function and prevents the kidneys from doing their job properly. I've seen this pattern many times in my practice. I remember Mrs. Teresa, a 71-year-old woman who drank several sugar-free beverages every day, thinking they were safer. When she reduced these products and increased her hydration, her kidney discomfort improved significantly. These small changes make a big difference. At number 5, we find processed meats. Here it's important to clarify something. The protein itself isn't the problem. Protein produces nitrogenous waste that the kidneys must filter, but when it comes from natural meats and is consumed in normal amounts, it's not a risk. The problem appears when people overload on extremely lean proteins without balancing them with other nutrients, or when dehydration or metabolic issues make processing them difficult. In fact, when the kidney is recovering, the right protein is necessary because it helps rebuild tissue. The real enemy is processed meat, sausages, bacon, industrial ham, and packaged products. These foods are loaded with nitrates, nitrites, phosphates, and compounds that increase inflammation, calcium buildup, and damage to kidney tissue. Over time, these chemicals harden and scar the kidneys, making them more fragile. In the number 4 spot we have foods high in added phosphates. Natural phosphorus isn't a problem, but the phosphates in ultra-processed foods are. They're found in processed cheeses, soft drinks, frozen meals, ready-to-heat dishes, and a wide variety of fast food products. These additives increase the body's acid load and force the kidney to work beyond its capacity. When we talk about protecting your kidneys, one of the biggest challenges is understanding how certain additives and substances disrupt your body's natural balance. The clearest example is inorganic phosphates added to industrial foods. Although calcium and phosphorus form part of your bones, the body is designed to absorb moderate amounts, not sudden excesses. Natural food phosphates are absorbed slowly, only about a third. But artificial phosphates are absorbed almost completely, and that excess becomes a burden that ends up accumulating where it shouldn't, in the kidneys, arteries, and bones. When that happens, the natural balance between calcium and phosphorus is lost, and your kidneys begin to harden from the inside, a condition known as renal osteodystrophy. I have seen this problem in many patients. I remember Don Julian, 68, who consumed packaged foods every day because he found them convenient. After reducing these products and choosing fresher options, his kidney function began to stabilize. Sometimes small adjustments make a huge difference. Another dangerous factor is over-the-counter anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen and naproxen. Even though they are not foods, I had to include them because many people take them frequently without realizing the damage they cause. These medications block substances that help maintain blood flow to the kidneys. And the kidneys need more blood than any other organ in proportion to their size because they depend on oxygen to filter toxins. When that blood flow decreases, the kidney must do the same job with less oxygen, causing stress, inflammation, and cell death. Occasional use usually does not cause problems, but taking them repeatedly can lead to permanent damage. The second element that harms your kidneys is industrial seed oils, such as corn, soybean, or canola oil. The issue is not the seeds themselves, but the aggressive extraction method used to obtain these oils. Very high temperatures, extreme pressure, and chemical solvents are involved, which oxidize the fats and produce compounds called aldehydes. These aldehydes are especially toxic to kidney cells. Over time, they damage the glomeruli, scar the tubules, and weaken the membranes responsible for filtering your blood. As a doctor, I have seen how these oils silently complicate kidney health without people realizing where the problem comes from. I recall a patient, Mrs. Mariella, who used vegetable oil for everything. When she switched to olive oil and reduced fried foods, her inflammation levels and daily energy improved noticeably. In all these cases, the pattern repeats. When you introduce substances that your body does not recognize as natural or receives them in excessive amounts, your kidneys are the first to suffer. That is why it is so important to return to simple, fresh, and minimally processed foods. Every decision you make counts, and your kidneys truly appreciate it. When you want to protect your kidneys and prevent further deterioration, there is a silent enemy that often goes unnoticed: sugar and all its derivatives. It is found in sweetened drinks, desserts, cookies, flavored coffees, and foods that seem harmless at first glance. This is not just about white sugar. High fructose corn syrup, agave, and even honey, when consumed in excess, play a role. Many people believe agave is healthy because it raises blood sugar less, but the truth is that its fructose content is very high, and fructose is the most damaging part for your metabolism. The key is quantity. A small amount of honey does not affect a healthy body. The problem appears when these products become part of your daily routine. Fructose can only be processed by the liver, and doing so requires a lot of energy. During this process, that energy breaks down and produces uric acid. Although many think uric acid only comes from meat, sugar is actually one of the fastest and strongest triggers of increased uric acid. That uric acid reaches the kidneys and must be eliminated, but its crystalline texture irritates and injures kidney tissue, promotes stone formation, and creates scars that permanently affect filtering capacity. I have seen this many times in my practice. Recently, I treated Mrs. Elena, who drank several sweetened beverages a day without realizing that her kidney discomfort came from there. When she reduced sugar and switched to more natural options, her pain decreased and her energy improved significantly. Sometimes, changing one habit opens the door to a recovery that once seemed impossible. If this type of information helps you take better care of your body, I invite you to subscribe, share this video, and activate the notification bell so you never miss any content. Here we upload new videos every day, always designed to support your journey toward a fuller and more conscious life. And before I say goodbye, I want to invite you to do something very simple yet deeply meaningful. Let us give thanks to God for life, for the opportunity to learn, and for the ability to improve our health with decisions that are within everyone's reach. Every day is a new opportunity to care for ourselves with love. On this channel, Wellness at My Age, it fills me with joy to help you improve your habits and strengthen your well-being. Tomorrow we will have a new video with more practical tools so you can continue taking care of your health step by step. I look forward to seeing you, with an open heart and the sincere wish that each day you feel better.